Hi, this is a quick lesson on decimal place value, and this is part of Everyday Math program for third grade. And the home link for this one right here is 5.9 home link. And the first thing you need to do here is to fill in the missing numbers on this number line, starting with 0, moving on to 100th, finishing with 800ths. And I think you can probably recognize the pattern here and fill it in. But what most students actually need to work on is being able to read these numbers. And I don't mean 0.01, but reading this as 100th, 200ths, 300ths. So practice the reading here instead of just filling it in and moving on. Make sure you can say all of these numbers too. Underneath that, you check the bottom part. You're starting here with 7/10. You're finishing with 1 and 5/10. So you can probably find the pattern. But again, practice saying these numbers. So 7/10, 8/10, moving on all the way to 1 and 5/10. And most people would just read this as 1.5. But just to make sure you're understanding the math ideas behind it, please read it as 1 and 5/10. Now, for this next part, we're going to be looking at centimeters and millimeters and meters to figure out where some points are on this little ruler here. And the first part, all you need to do is recognize centimeters. So I'm not going to give you the answer to number 3, but another example would be if you said put the letter J at 14 centimeters. It just means put a dot there. Oh, let's try that again. You put a dot there. A little bit better. And then you label the dot. Like this. Although, to be precise, I need to move my dot a little bit to the left. So, make a dot 7 centimeters and label it with letter A. Should be not too difficult. The next one here, though, is talking about 90 mm. And mm stands for milliliters or millimeters. ml is milliliters, mm is millimeters. We can talk about that in more detail later, but for right now, you should know that each of these, if each centimeter is divided into 10 parts, each of these is 1 millimeter. And again, we'll get into the details of this later, but basically you need to do 90 millimeters. You could count each of these until you get to 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way to 90, or you could use multiplication to do it a lot more quickly than counting all the way to 90. Just use your multiplication facts to figure out where is 90 millimeters. And for the last two, now we're getting into decimals. So this is make a dot at 1300ths meters. So let's break this one down quickly. Okay, so here we have a meter stick. This whole thing is 1 meter. Please ignore my shoes for now. And the length of this is 1 meter. And if we were to divide this meter into 10 equal parts, it would look something like this. 10, 20, 30. So now this would be 1/10 of a meter here. And let's say I was measuring something that was this long, like this poorly drawn banana, and I was measuring how long it would be. You could say it would be 30 centimeters, because you can see here is 30 centimeters, or you could say it is 3/10 meters or 30 centimeters. It's the same thing. We could take it even further though and break this into 10 separate parts. And those parts are actually so small it's hard to do with this space. So let me zoom in real quick. So here, 10 more parts would be like this. And then inside this whole meter stick, you'd have 10, 20, 30, 100 parts. So it's 100 centimeters, so broken down. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So if we're going to measure something that's between the tenths, you would need the hundredths. So here I have an umbrella. It kind of looks like a Christmas tree too. And if I were to measure this, looks like approximately 55 centimeters. So I would say this umbrella is 55 hundredths meters. And now finally getting back to the home link here. So you want 13 hundredths meters. I think that's easier to figure out if you look at the whole meter stick. 13 would be right about here. So that's 13 hundredths meters or 13 centimeters. So hopefully seeing the whole meter stick gives you the idea of how tenths and hundredths work, and you should be able to do your home link and understand it too, which is the most important part. If you have questions, you can post them. Thank you, and that's all.